For decades, our entire digital lives have been lived through these glowing rectangles, our phones, our laptops, our TVs. But what if that whole way of doing things is about to completely break apart? What if we're on the edge of a great unbundling, where information finally escapes the screen itself?
I mean, we've all felt it, right? The constant buzz of notifications, always looking down, that feeling that you're interacting with a piece of glass more than the actual world around you. It makes you wonder, is our technology really serving us, or are we kind of serving it?
Now, this quote, it paints a picture of a totally different future, a world where tech isn't a distraction, but a seamless part of you. It's just there. It's intuitive, almost invisible, and it works with you instead of screaming for your attention. That's the dream.
So how do we get to that dream? Well, it all starts with a pretty radical idea, which brings us to our first big topic. Are we literally watching the end of the screen as we know it? This idea, which IN Airspace calls the Great Unbundling, really gets to the core of it. Look, it's not that screens are going to disappear overnight, but they won't be the main way we interact with information anymore. The data is being set free, ready to be placed anywhere in the world around us. And this unbundling isn't just some sci-fi concept anymore. No, it's the foundation for a whole new way of computing. And it has a name: spatial computing. So what is it? Just think of it as a shared digital copy of our world. Some call it an AR cloud. It's this persistent layer of data where information isn't trapped inside your phone. It's anchored to real places and objects. Your kitchen counter could show you a recipe. A park bench could tell you its history. Your whole environment, that becomes the computer. But okay, to make this feel natural and not like total chaos, you need some ground rules. And this is where Apple's design guidelines for spatial computing are so critical. Rule number 1, digital stuff has to feel like it really belongs in your room. It needs to be stable and grounded, not just sort of floating around randomly. And this leads us to the second rule, which is just as important. If you just stick a screen to someone's face that moves everywhere they look, well, that's just disorienting and pretty awful. Instead, the content stays put in the room, which lets you look around naturally, just like you would with any physical object. It makes perfect sense.
So who's making the biggest bet on this spatial future? Well, no surprise here, it's Apple. So let's dive into their big vision, starting with the headset. The whole point of this tech is the experiences it unlocks, right? And Apple is pushing hard on what they call killer content. And we're talking about stuff you just can't do any other way, like backcountry skiing with pro athletes, or standing right inside the Real Madrid locker room, or sitting in the cockpit of an F-18. This is the promise, and it's a big one. But there's this huge gap between that incredible promise and the reality for people who bought it early on. Despite all the amazing tech, there has been a lot of anxiety, fueled by headlines about production cuts and strategy changes. This quote from a user on the Vision Pro subreddit really captures that feeling of dread. Instead of panicking, though, Apple is playing the long game. Just look at how they're tackling the comfort problem. The original bands? A major complaint. So the new dual-knit band isn't just a different strap. It's a piece of serious engineering. It has tungsten counterweights and a special dial to solve those specific problems of weight and pressure. This is classic Apple. Improve and iterate. Don't just give up. But hey, the headset is just one piece of this puzzle. To really make technology fade into the background, the interface itself needs to get more subtle, more invisible. And that brings us to the next rumored piece of Apple's plan, the Ring. So all these rumors and patents are pointing towards an Apple's smart ring. Just imagine a device that can track your health with advanced sensors, let you control your other devices with just a subtle hand gesture, and connect perfectly with your smart home. This is another huge step in that great unbundling, moving control away from a screen and onto your body in a way that's totally discreet. And why would Apple invest so much in this? Well, the market potential is just staggering. The wearable tech market is projected to be worth nearly $1.7 trillion by 2032. Yeah, trillion with a T. This isn't some niche hobby. It's one of the next great frontiers in personal technology for sure. Okay, so a world of invisible interfaces and spatial computing sounds absolutely amazing, but let's be real. Getting there is going to be a long and very ambitious road. As many users on Reddit have pointed out, this is a marathon, not a sprint. People are debating if headsets will eventually become glasses, but the general feeling is that Apple doesn't jump into a category this huge just to walk away. I mean, remember, the Apple Watch took years to really find its place.
This whole spatial computing thing is a multi-decade strategy. And this chart, this reveals Apple's secret weapon for playing that long game. Their ecosystem is basically their fortress. With their devices working together almost perfectly, a crazy 92% customer retention rate, and all that massive services revenue, they have the cash and the loyal fans to ride out the early, bumpy stages of a new platform like this. So where is all of this going? A headset, a ring, an intelligent environment, it's all pointing towards a fundamental change in our relationship with technology. The ultimate goal here is a really profound shift in how we even think about computing.
It's about changing the whole dynamic from human-computer interaction, a world of commands and clicks and taps, to a world where our technology understands our context, what our body's doing, what we intend to do, a world of human-computer partnership. That right there is the true destination.
The technology is being built as we speak. The plans are in motion, and the shift is already starting. It's a future that promises to be more integrated, more intuitive, and hopefully more human. So the only question left is, are you ready for it?